Hello, and welcome to the We're Not Stumped podcast. I'm your host, Mike Boland, and I'm a congenital amputee of the right hand. In this show, I will interview other amputees and allow them to tell you their incredible life stories. I'll also feature family members of amputees and others who support the amputee community, all in an effort to discuss the challenges and triumphs of those living with limb loss. So stick around and listen to inspirational stories and find out why we say, we're not stumped. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the We're Not Stumped podcast. I'm your host, Mike Boland, and today I welcome two people on, Gail Stelling and Robin Emerson, and they're both from United Cerebral Palsy of Central Arizona. United Cerebral Palsy of Central Arizona, which is also known as UCP, is dedicated to supporting individuals with cerebral palsy and other disabilities. Their expert team specializes in a comprehensive range of services known as Lifespan of Services. Since 1952, they have served as one of the oldest private, nonprofit health and human services organizations in the state of Arizona. So first of all, Gail and Robin, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me on the We're Not Stumped podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, Mike, thank you.
Oh gosh, it's my pleasure. I'll tell you, I can't wait. We just had about a 15-minute pre-conversation, and all the stuff you're doing there is just fantastic. And I want the listeners to learn more about that. So we definitely want to talk about the future. So maybe, Gail, if you want to give an overview of the UCP and the community, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Mike. It is such an honor to be here with you today. A while back, after hearing your comedy show, I was particularly moved by your career story and how amazing it is when your employer took a chance with you and how successful you are. And we understand that there's a lot of blessings along those paths. So yeah, thank you. I wanted to just say thank you for having us. Mm-hmm. So at UCP, our name does not tell the entire story, as you said. We serve with compassionate experts in different fields. We serve the lifespan, as you had mentioned. We're through the scope of our work, we've changed over the years. Our vision has remained the same: to help people with disabilities realize and reach their full potential and improve the quality of their lives and their families, as we mentioned. Each unique program at UCP provides the highest quality of care in all stages of life. So every year we impact lives, about 700 people with disabilities in our community. And our work is reflected by the improved life experiences of every person that we touch, presently for generations to come. Our efforts are guided by the beliefs that each and every person has potential gifts and talents that can be unlocked. And, we invite everyone who's listening to contact us if their loved one is experiencing a disability, or you want to come and do a tour, you see what's going on here. After we're done with the podcast, we'll be able to share some information. But we do have a website. It's www.ucpofcentralaz.org. Please check us out. You can check out our programs there. You can make a donation there if you'd like. And you can reach us by our phone number, 602-943-5472. Please do call us and schedule a tour of our facilities and check out our programs.
Well, you offered a tour to me, and I'm going to take you up on that. I cannot wait to go there. And as we talked earlier, we were talking about some of the newer, and newer may not be the right term, but newer to me, offerings you have there, including a basketball court. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, I'd love to. So we were awarded $250,000 grant from Access Arizona. And we took that money and took new, and I'd say less.
Like gently used, maybe?
No, we had the last time we did an upgrade was over 20 years ago. Nobody remember. So the technology and the innovation now from 20 years ago is so different. So what we've done is we've upgraded our equipment and made our center one that would be attractive to the community that we serve. And so we do have a basketball court. It's a half-size court, so we could do like 1-on-1, 3-on-3. These are opportunities that people don't always get to have. And so what we're doing is really trying to provide like our accessible golf, our accessible basketball. We have a walking path that's wide enough to handle some of the larger wheelchairs. Our equipment, we have exercise equipment that's a circuit outdoors, just like any other park that you would see. But these items are designed specifically for people that wouldn't be able to access the ones in the park. So we took a lot of thought and energy in putting into the planning. We had a groundbreaking ceremony back in April, and it was so wonderful just to be able to showcase some of the things that were to come. And now that most of it's installed, the excitement is just unreal. Maybe a little bit later on, you'll hear them. Right behind me is our outdoor space, and out there you may be able to hear some activities going on, and people are really enjoying that space. Robin, won't you pipe in here and share some of the other accessible items that we've installed in our back living space?
Of course. Yep. We also have some raised planter beds in a greenhouse. And we are going to be using that, do some horticulture therapy, because there's nothing better, especially for me, than dirt therapy. But we're going to be doing that and have our members start plants from seeds, as well as purchasing some and grow some vegetables and fruits. And we're hoping to be able to use that in our culinary program, which we've also gotten a lot of new equipment as we're focusing on health and wellness here. We're trying to kind of, what do they call it? Ground to table, or, for the food and stuff.
Yes.
We're encouraging the members to use all of the equipment and doing the exercises and having goals for themselves. And it's just been super exciting to see, them all get involved in all of these new items that we do have.
Yeah, and I know, Gail, when you were talking about some of my experiences had to do with gaining employment when I was 16 as a congenital amputee, and that kind of resonated the beginning of our conversation. And those are the types of things that you're not just focusing on, you're focusing on a big pie to help people with disabilities. Can either one of you speak to that?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Thank you, Mike. I really was moved when I saw your comedy show, your life story play out. I mean, that took a lot of courage, and I'm really glad that you were able to find that courage and share that with the community, and I loved it. So what we did is kicked off the Life Empowerment Career Center. United Cerebral Palsy Association of Central Arizona believes that every individual should live their very best life, and employment is an opportunity to gain independence by making equitable wage and being a productive person in the community. Life Empowerment Career Center takes that person-centered approach, listening and documenting what likes and dislikes the individual has, who supports them, and what components of their life really make a difference. We're going to be listening and documenting what conditions are needed for success in their employment, and incorporating that into their employment plans. This approach to success focuses on the individual's needs, followed by the employer's needs. So that's the approach that we take. We serve our community members with different life challenges by providing those life empowerment options to have the same experiences that we all enjoy. We provide services that support people with disabilities to gain competitive, integrated employment or sustainable self-employment by providing job search, job coaching services, job search as a service assist, and matching the individual with competitive, integrated employment or support for finding that meaningful self-employment.
Yeah, and sometimes just giving someone a chance can open so many doors, not only for the individual, and you kind of hit it, but even for the organization. And I think that was one that I was trying to get across with what I was talking about. And certainly this conversation isn't about me, but that part resonated with you. And that's why I was so glad that we had the opportunity to talk after the show, because it was one of the more difficult parts of my life. But as it turns out, I had a 30-year career at a pretty big organization. And I think, they didn't want me to leave when I left, but I left to do something along the lines of this podcast. So I'm very glad I get to meet great people like you. One of the things we were talking about a little earlier was something that happened within the last few days, maybe a few weeks. There was an event where everyone went fishing, and it was a big, it was just a enjoyed by all type of event. Can you talk about, either one of you talk about the fishing that happened?
I think we both should share our experiences. So Mike, let me tell you, 30 plus years of working in nonprofits and finance and just building companies. I was very driven in the business side of stuff. Yesterday was amazing. It really made a difference in my life to be able to provide that opportunity for people that may have never gone fishing. And talking with the individuals, they're like, this is the first time I've ever done this. And it was so amazing to be able to see how much joy that hour and a half brought to them. And just to be able to have that, bring that life experiences for people it was just a game changer for me. So I'm glad you brought that up. One of the things that I did want to mention about the Life Empowerment Career Center, and this speaks exactly what you spoke of, is the employer outreach and services are provided to eliminate that stigma, dispel any untruths, and educate on the benefits of hiring people with disabilities. And so, with this fishing trip, I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with the employment side of things, but it has everything to do with having the ability to have the same experiences and those joys that you and I may have taken for granted over the years. So I think it's so amazing that we were able to do that. Robin, chime in here and share your experiences.
Well, so, when yesterday was, I don't know if you guys know this, but it was actually National Fishing Day.
I did not know that.
Yep. And so that was why we put it on the activity calendar. And it was, every month we ask all the individuals, what kind of things you want to do. And I put a lot of national days, well, that right there, fishing. And everybody was like, want to go fishing. And, a few people backed out because it was a little warm. But we still had just an amazing group. We had some of our colleagues had also volunteered to come along to help provide support. Gail is an amazing fishing line threader and baiter. I don't know how to do that, but it was awesome that just to see the smiles. And we'll have some pretty soon on social media. There'll be some pictures, and I just urge you to look for them because it was ear to ear smiles everywhere, and they were just having so much fun. And then there was some little ducks too, and they were excited about the ducks. We really wanted to feed them, but we know we couldn't. But yeah, It was a great day. And
you talked about the fact that we're in Arizona, and the National Fishing Day happens to come. I don't know, it's probably 112 out yesterday, but it was pretty warm. But warm. When I listen to the story, it has to do as much with the confidence that you instill in people because of what you're doing. People haven't done that before. And that goes to the whole mental health and outlook portion of people with disabilities, and having the confidence to go out and be themselves and get those jobs and to go through those interviews. Is that part of the whole vision of what you're looking to do in the future?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And knowing everybody's different, I always say I put a different hat on depending on the individual that I'm working with. You have some that are so wanting to be so independent and just go for it, and others that you have to kind of coax along a little ways. And just finding what works for each of them is just the best part of my job, honestly, and seeing them succeed.
I'm glad I didn't have to coax either one of you to talk about this organization, because I love learning more about it, and I can't wait to shoot a couple baskets. I got to be honest, I don't care how hot it is. I want to check out that basketball. There's an event you have going on. I don't know if it's going on now, but it's certainly going to be in July. It's called Christmas in July. And you're going to be doing it for a couple of different reasons. Either one of you want to explain that?
So what we're trying to do is gain some, we're trying to do a fundraiser. We had individuals who participate in our center, decorate and theme Christmas trees, and we will have an auction. So you can go to our website, www.ucpofcentralaz.org, and find our auction site, bid on the trees. And our goal is $10,000. And what we're looking for doing is getting athletic wheelchairs for a basketball court, so we can do a one-on-one with people that have limited mobility. And we also want to, get some putting, adaptive putting for our golf putting green out back, so that people who may have a different grip or mobility with their hands can have success. I'll tell you what, Mike, one of our individuals grabbed one of the putters that I brought from home, and she didn't know how to really maneuver that around her walker. She got a hole in one for the first time in her life. It was the biggest deal. It was so amazing. And, just to bring that experience and that joy, it was so amazing. So if we can get the right equipment, and that's what we're trying to do here. Robin, why don't you chime in with the rest of the fundraising items that we're looking for funding?
So aside from the wheelchairs, we're looking for some funding for some more culinary items for our culinary program, as well as obviously that comes with a budget for purchasing the foods, and then for our horticultural program, same things with seeds and dirt and all those fun things that go with that.
And some art supplies, so
art
people
supplies,
can get creative. Yeah.
Yes.
Creativity just is so good for your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Everything you've mentioned. I didn't mean to cut you off, Robin. Did you have something you want to add?
I was just going to say we have some amazing artists here.
I wouldn't be one of those people, but that's good to hear. I can't wait to see. We talked a little bit about the Life Empowerment Career Center, and I want to make sure that we get everything you wanted to speak to about that. Was there anything we're missing on that particular topic? Because that's pretty exciting for me to hear that you're helping out with the Career Center.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be part of the launch of the Life Empowerment Career Center. I moved to Arizona just from Minnesota just short of 3 years ago, and I have been I was at 28 years at the same company doing day training, employment, and working with some individuals with some higher behaviors. And to have this launch here and be part of it, I'm just really, really excited. I think it's going to be a next big step for a lot of the individuals. Even some of them that are in Arizona Ability are expressing interest in going to the employment program. And that's my favorite thing. I have in my career been able to watch people that struggled be independently employed, or even with a little support, but just to see that happen is amazing. We, as Gail, we talked before about using the person-centered approach. It's focusing on each individual skill level, their preferences, taking them out in their own community and looking at job availabilities, and so they can have that right job and, find it and then maintain it. So we are using a program that we just purchased actually from Minnesota that I've used before called eTrack, and it allows our individuals to create like a little cartoon character themselves, and they go through the whole job process, everything from looking for a job and creating a resume to practicing interviews. And so, it'll be fun to be able to do that. And as well, we'll provide that, the soft skills training and on the job training, which is another thing we definitely will need to raise money for some things to work on some work skills in our Life Empowerment Career Center as well. We're going to provide exploration, development, and then support. So
yeah.
We're just really, really excited to get this going. And
Well, if I was thinking from the employer standpoint, if they wanted to get involved, obviously you're not going to tell them no, but is there a process that you just want them to get on the website, email either one of you? What would that look like from the employer perspective?
I think, again, like I was kind of talking before about educating, we got to get out there and let people know that we're in the community, and be able to go into different businesses and develop relationships, connect with different organizations that are willing, to work with us. And I know Gail and I toured with another facility, and they're even going to share some of their contacts and stuff like that. So it is a lot of, it'll be marketing, but it'll be going out there and saying, hey, I have this individual who's interested in working here. What do you think? Yeah, you're selling the individual as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mike, I'd like to also add that if employers are interested in working with us, and I certainly hope that they are, because it's so powerful. There's so many benefits of, hiring people with disabilities. They can contact us by email, and the email is lecc@ucpofcentralaz.org. Or they can call for services, and our telephone number is 602-943-5472. And they can just ask for the Life Empowerment Career Center to be one of our rock stars, our employer rock stars. So I'm looking forward to them reaching out to us, as well as we'll be reaching out to them.
Well, since I live in Arizona, I guess it's a two-part question. If someone wants to help in that, like an individual like me, would they take the same approach? And by the way, I am talking about a certain individual like me. Since I had these same challenges, I'd love to help you any way I could. What does that look like? Maybe not for me personally, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's fine. That's perfectly fine. So people can reach out to our website, make a donation. They can reach out to us to do a tour. We'd love to tour, and we'd like to also tour employers if they want to have us come see their facility and work with us individually as job coaches and managers of this program. We want to make sure that we have a safe and supportive environment for individuals, so that leads to success. And so tours on both ends are we'll schedule them. We also will take our time to do a little bit of we're going to be building up informational and educational components, so that we can attract employers to open up their minds and their hearts to find out that, hey, there are a lot of untruths about hiring individuals with disabilities, and eliminating those stigmas about that. And so it's the mission of the Life Empowerment Career Center, in order to educate and bring these things to light. There are definitely opportunities for us to be able to share that information, and employers can just give us a call, 602-943-5472, and just ask for the Life Empowerment Career Center, and we'll be able to work with them and make sure that we can have a successful employment situation, that can be maintained through the life of that individual, and how empowering that would be for them. It's a game changer.
Yeah, it is. You got to really, we're hoping to develop a program guide as well, that we can inform any of the hiring managers of the benefits, bringing these individuals into their workforce. These guys they're here every day. They come with a positive attitude, and there's so many things that they just really don't know until you get to meet them. And we've talked about even offering networking forums to help people that are employing individuals with disabilities, keep them informed on any policies or trends or anything like that.
I have a couple questions just from personal experience. So in my career, there was different times where I was at different parts of an organization, or even when I was younger. And so I would imagine some organizations are maybe a little bit more apprehensive of having a particular person be the face of the organization, meaning they're out in the public and is that some of the challenges that people that you represent are having? We'd love to hire them, but they're going to be in the back room or they're going to be in an office on the phone. Is that something that you see?
Yeah, so UCP of Central Arizona knows the importance of educating these businesses. And so, what we'll be doing is just showcasing successes. And so, Robin, do you want to speak a little bit more about what that looks like?
About the showcasing of successes.
Yeah, and educating
Yeah.
employers. Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing is just to, when you're educating the employers, they have to understand kind of the whole approach and the person-centered approach and how we got there and how how the individuals learn the skills. I've witnessed so many individuals struggle to find that meaningful employment, and no matter hard the individual worked, to find a supported business to employ them was almost impossible. But consistent advocacy and education has made me extremely blessed. And I've been able to watch a lot of people become gainfully employed, making great wages, and becoming valued members of the work community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm just going to go with this. So what we will be doing is looking for ambassadors. So people who have successes and an employer who supports them, those would be our ambassadors to help us share our story. And, just like you shared your story, it's so powerful to hear that testimony when you have that success and that relationship with your employer that truly understands your gifts and talents and will support you and your career path. Like you said, if you have a job that is out of sight, out of mind, and you don't have any career path growth opportunities provided for you, that's one story. But if we have an opportunity to showcase and have an ambassador employer, an ambassador employee who can really share and shine and let us see what the difference really is. And, that's what we're looking for, is showcasing that testimony.
Well, what I find interesting or fascinating or maybe empowering is sometimes the employers don't get the fact that being on the floor and being as a face of the organization is very positive for that organization. And, when I was younger, let's say I was 16, I was working in a mall and being the face, and people were very accepting of that, even going back as far long ago as it was for me. And that's what I think employers need to focus on, and how it can be a positive image for an organization, not a negative one at all. It's really a positive one.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
for sure. And having the support of the employment coach in the beginning, they can help have the individual become included, whether it's in the break room at lunchtime, break those social barriers, to make sure that they are fitting in and helping the other employees feel comfortable, as well as encouraging our individual to reach out and develop real relationships and friendships.
Wow. I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's an excellent point. This isn't just about earning a paycheck and going to and from work. This is about incorporating yourself into a community and getting friends and relationships. That's an excellent point. Thank you so much for bringing it up. As I think about some of the things within the realm of what you're representing, I would imagine family and the whole family unit is extremely important. What does that look like for someone in your organization and the families that are part of what they're going through and what they're looking to get out of all the opportunities you give them?
We have some families that are super receptive to the here and now and what's going on and what people are advocating for. And we still have some that are a little hesitant about wanting their individual might say, hey, I want a job. And the parent might be like, oh, no, they can't have a job, or they're not ready. And, so with that, we definitely have to try to educate the parents as well when it comes to, hey, we need to let these guys make a choice, and this is what they're saying, and this is what would make them happy. And, what else is better than going out and having a job and earning a paycheck? They love making money just as much as the next person. They want to contribute to their families. So I think it's just a matter of especially the old school families. We just got to kind of keep working with them and showing them success stories. That's another huge thing. If they see other people being successful, they might, might take a little more time to leave because they're going to be a little more resistant. But we also have some really supportive families that, are just like, oh, we're so excited about this, the employment program, and, I can't wait. And so I already know the first person that's going to get a job, and I can't even just wait to watch him in his element.
Oh, great. Well, I think it says a lot for your organization to make sure that you're getting everything you need to make that individual successful. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
It's that caring and compassion. Yes, it is.
Caring, compassion. Wow, that's the two C's that I see from both of you as we talked. We talked before we hit record, and we talked quite a bit now. Is there anything that I'm missing that maybe you wanted to make sure that was said during this episode of the We're Not Stumped podcast?
I can take an opportunity again to share the email for the Life Empowerment Career Center. That is LECC@UCP of Central Arizona.org. And then the phone number again, 602-943-5472.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that phone number and all the contact information. And I want to be involved. So I know we can talk offline, but you've done nothing but motivate me to get involved in your organization, because all of the great things you're doing, and you seem to be heading down a direction that I personally believe in. And thank you both so much for taking your time, for being on the We're Not Stumped podcast. I look forward to the future of your organization, because it's nothing but heading in the right direction because of people like you.
Thank you, Mike.
That was the We're Not Stumped podcast, hosted by Mike Boland. If you want to be a guest on the program, reach out to Mike at his email address, mike@mikeboland.com. This podcast is produced by One Hand Man Productions. If you are looking to start your podcast, go to onehandmanproductions.com.